Hello folks, well it's Saturday morning and for the last few days I've smelt diesel, and what I think it is this pipe that goes from that's the fuel filter housing on a diesel 75, and it goes along here, clips down there, goes up here, and it goes onto the underbonnet pump. Now I thought I had this problem earlier in the year and I thought it was the top of the pump, so I siliconed it, so ignore that. What happens apparently on the forums is that the bottom of this pipe basically splits a little bit and then it'll leak. Now it only has to leak a very, very small amount and it will stink, so I think that's what's happened. So I'm going to remove this pipe and then see what we can do. Well, sorry about the poor light, but I haven't got a light in this shed. I'm going to have to rig one up, because obviously as the weather gets colder I want to do more work in this shed because it's slightly warmer. Anyway, this is the pipe. This goes from the oil filter side. Oil, what the hell am I talking about? Hang on. Right, now I've corrected myself. Fuel filter side. This is the fitting, and obviously you can put a new pipe on if it splits, and that's a clamp I put on, and to be honest it weren't that tight, so maybe that was a problem. We can see muck on the pipe and I think it's just been blowing back from the pipe, so I'm going to take the clamp off, clean the pipe up, inspect it, and then if needs be I'm going to put a different clamp on it, one that does better. So I'm going to do that. So I've noticed on the reverse side of the pipe it's been catching on something. This is the side that faces the engine, and there's like a pipe that lies near it with a non-return valve on it. Don't know what that's for. Could be something to do with the heating system. I don't know. But the end of the pipe, from what I can see, is actually fine. But like I say, it wasn't actually, I think the clamp has lost its tension, because obviously the clamp's bit into the rubber okay, and I don't know whether I put that clamp on or whether it was already on. I'm pretty sure it's not the standard clamp. The standard clamp I'm guessing would be like this, but obviously underbonnet pumps are known to fail, and so that's probably not I mean, I've put that one on, but I can't remember doing that clamp. I have got a big box of clampages somewhere. I think they're in the shed because we use someone nibbler, and I'm going to get a new clamp. But what I'm tempted to do is, I mean, this rubber's still nice and pliable, it's still quite nice, but I'm just tempted to get, say, cut that end off where the clamps compressed it, and start again, because we've got plenty of pipe to go around. There is plenty, and I've also, if I need to replace that pipe, I think I've got some of the correct spec anyway if I need to. But for now I'm going to chop the end off, put a new clamp on it, and I'll go from there. I've cleaned up the top of the pump. I thought the top of the pump was leaking before, so I siliconed it. I dried it all out with brake clean, siliconed it, and it seemed to cure it. But that was in the warmer weather, and I've only noticed this smell in the colder weather. But when I had a look the other day, I just primed the pump, it was fairly obvious. I think it was coming out of here, and by the looks of it, the rubber's lost its squish basically. So I think a new clamp and cutting it off, I think that should do it. Fingers crossed. Remember, this is a Jimmy should, so it probably won't work. Okay, so it's all back together and it's all clipped in. Now hopefully what we're looking for, I don't know whether you'll be able to see. I'll get you in there. Can I get you there? Oh, will you stay there? Who knows? Right. Ideally I wanted you to look at this, where the hose has gone in. Now funnily enough, the end of the hose had expanded, so I think that's probably what's done it. But I'm just going to turn the ignition on now and we shouldn't see any leakage. In a revolting development, I think the top of the pump is leaking, and to get the pump off you need to take the battery tray out because of how they've mounted the bracketry. And spot the German influence, the dreaded Torx fasteners. So anyway, I'm going to crack on, get the battery tray out, and I'm going to get the pump off and then have a look at it. It wants resealing at the top, I think, and I can't afford a new pump at the minute, so I'm going to have to come up with some bush engineering. It's only very, very low pressure, so we're not pushing around with high pressure or anything like that, so safe basically. With the battery tray out of the way, we can see the diesel. We can also see leaky pump at the top. So it was as I suspected originally. Top of the pump's leaking because some of them aren't crimped very well. Now I've got no money to replace this at the moment, so what I'm going to do is clean all that silicone off. I'm going to remove the pump, clean all that silicone off, and then find some other way of sealing it, and I think I've got just the stuff. But first of all, we need to take this out, take the pipe out, take the electrical connector out, take the bottom pipe out, and it'll all come out nice. Oh, it's 8mm. That's the electrical connector off. I took this bolt out, and then the clamp actually just pulls through the bracket, so that's all nice and free now. So now I've got to get to the bottom pipe. So I've slipped the pump out of its rubber condom, and I've laid it on the side so I can get to the bottom clamp. This assembly will pull all the way back, and it will bring the fuel filter and everything with it. It's perfectly fine. Oh, look at all the diesel. Look at that's about 30 mile worth. So yeah, I'll undo the bottom clamp, pull the pump off, cleaned it up, and we'll have a look. Okay, pump's out, so I'm going to clean the silicone off and then reseal it somehow, because I can't afford one at the moment, and it's working, so it ain't a scrapper, but it's leaking enough to smell it, and obviously it's been doing it a few days. There's a little bit of diesel under the battery tray, not a massive amount, but that's what it is. But I've got some epoxy putty which I might just be able to cram in just so it literally lasts till payday, because obviously I need the car, so we'll crack on from there. So, I can't afford a new pump, or I didn't think I could. The original Piermont pump is about 170 quid, and that's a no-no. And I know I didn't pay that much for the one I fitted, because I think I got it for eBay or Amazon. But it's done. I think I did that 2 years ago, because I replaced the fuel pump in the fuel tank as well at the same time, pretty much the same time. Excuse the cold sore, I've got a chest cold and it's brilliant. But I managed to find a branded pump on eBay for 35 quid delivered with a 5-year guarantee. Fits BMWs, Range Rovers and all that lot. So that's what I've done. I've ordered it, but the delivery estimate is sort of next Friday, next Saturday. So obviously I'll film refitting it, but on that note, I will have my hot beverage and leave you all to it. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra.